Hello, everybody. This is the BP Learned and for FYLC Real Help. I am going to be doing a three-part series on mistake. This is part one. Take a look for 2 and 3 on our blog or our website. So the first part of this is going to cover the outline and the general principles of mistake. The reason I'm starting with our outline is because the outline is the most important thing you can do when you're writing an essay. I went into my FYLSE, and the first essay that showed up, I wasted 15 minutes sitting there and staring blankly at my paper, writing a bunch of gobbledygook. And I can't tell you how many people I've worked with have had the same experience. And I don't want you to have that experience. So I want you to get used to, in contracts specifically, being able to put your outline down with accuracy and efficiency. So our main outline consists of our governing law, our formation, our offer, acceptance, consideration, defenses to formation, our performance breach remedies. Depending on our fact pattern, we're going to have our goods and merchants, or we're going to have our fraud or our peril evidence. But this is the overall outline that you want to start getting down, you want to start memorizing. Now, under defenses to formation, which you can see I have here underlined, I do not personally put capacity, illegality, unconscionability, fraud, mistake, undue influence. All I put is defenses to formation, statute of frauds, and peril evidence, because I generally remember these. I know that Fleming's has a really good acronym he uses, but I'm not good with acronyms, so I don't use that. But remember, this is your outline. You make your outline based on what you remember, and you put in your outline things that you don't automatically remember or that you find that you commonly miss on essays. So under defenses to formation, one of the big issues that we often have is mistake. And mistake is often one of the more tricky or confusing subjects for a lot of people when they're writing these first-year law students' FYLSE essays. So what I want to do is I want to go over the general theories on mistake first. So as you can see, we have 3 different theories that fall under mistake. We have our unilateral mistake, a mutual mistake, and a mistranscription. Now, I know some of you are singing the Sesame Street, one of these things just isn't the same. Well, mistranscription does fall under mistake because it is a mistake. When the parties reach an oral agreement to the terms of a contract and the error is made when they're reducing it to writing, then reformation is available to correct this because we want to reflect the party's true intention at the time of contracting, right? So a mistranscription oftentimes comes up, and it's also a common offender on the multiple choice questions, and we'll cover that in the next session. Now, your unilateral mistake, the way I always remembered a unilateral mistake is you made a mistake, which means only one of the parties that enters into the contract due to mistake, one party is mistaken. So if I have to memorize it, then I say, you made a mistake, unilateral mistake. Now remember, no relief is granted unless the non-mistaking party knew or had reason to know of the mistake. Now, next we have mutual mistake, and mutual mistake has 3 elements in it that you have to discuss if you think that there is a mutual mistake. You have to discuss where both parties are mistaken to a basic assumption of the contract. 2, the mistake goes to a material aspect of the subject matter. And 3, the party asserting the mistake as a defense did not assume the risk of the mistake. Now, if you show these 3 elements of mutual mistake, this makes the contract voidable. It doesn't make it void, it just makes it voidable. So you have to bring this up and you have to discuss and you have to show both sides of the argument here, these 3 different elements of this rule statement. So in the next session, we're going to cover some MCQs that speak specifically to our mistake and to mistranscription and give you some tips on how to identify those. We look forward to seeing you in part 2.